kati Museveni ne famire ye abatukulembera balowooza kulya masala kyokka. Mwamwe wali ku myaka 8 nga Museveni asibye mukyala we Kadaali mukadde munne mbo bali bavubuka basuba omukisa gw'okukola embaga kati bagikoze mu bukadde. Mwabalaba tebakyasobola kutambula normally, batambulanga bwe bakubidde mu basement naye mbo bali mu Kadaali. Mbo bali mu Kadaali twali bavubuka twasubwa Kadaali ow'ekinana n'awasowe 75 ne bawenyera nga bagenda ku kituuti. Ebintu bimwe n'okubikkiriza nti byakulekawo. Ekirungi olina abaana, Museveni asibye abaana Kadaali, ekyo kyali mu malidde. Naye omusajja oyo talina kyayagala kusuba, buli kyeyasuba ngo tayagala Uganda ekimu.
SSEMUJJU NGANDA has come out to destroy General Kaguta Museveni and his wife. We all know that SSEMUJJU NGANDA is one of the bitter pills of the first family. In fact, General MUSEVENI came out to announce that one day is going to capture SSEMUJJU NGANDA with like a grasshopper. SSEMUJJU NGANDA is one of the attack proponents of the regime. In fact, I may not be, I believe in his political party, but is a force to reckon with against the junta Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Okay? SSEMUJJU NGANDA pointed out some fundamental issues about the regime, citing that General Museveni is eating our country. And in fact, I've done several videos telling you how General Museveni is making raids which point to something. I think last year he married his wife again in that old age. Last week he apologized to the country and is 81 years. By September he's going to make 81 years. Okay? And in politics, nothing is done by mistake. Normally, those things point to something. I also did a video on how his wife begged the archdiocese to help them transit from themselves. So they also see that their father is not becoming stronger but weaker. It's becoming older and the transition is inevitable. That's why he's doing these rituals, which I don't want to talk about what it means. So in this episode, I've come to talk about the statements which were made by SSEMUJJU NGANDA, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the certain materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagri. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, SSEMUJJU NGANDA came out in the press conference to tell us how General Museveni is finishing our country, how he's trying to achieve everything he never achieved in the youth. What pains me more is General Museveni is the totally opposite personnel from the Museveni of 1986. General Museveni has done everything he fought against. There was Pandagali. In Uganda there is abduction. He complained about stealing of the votes in Uganda. Stealing of the votes is a norm. We recently saw what happened in Kawempe. Okay? We talked about militarism in politics is doing it exactly the same. In fact, opposition leaders are not allowed to galvanize in the country, even within elections. The recently concluded election 2021, opposition leaders were disallowed to campaign in some of the regions, some of the districts in Uganda. And you want to tell me that you have a democracy? Before I proceed, let me play a tape of when SSEMUJJU NGANDA was destroying the first family. Here's the tape.
Kati Museveni ne famire ye abatukulembera balowooza kulya masala kyokka. Mwamwe wali ku myaka 8 nga Museveni asibye mukyala we Kadaali mukadde munne mbo bali bavubuka basuba omukisa gw'okukola embaga kati bagikoze mu bukadde. Mwabalaba tebakyasobola kutambula normally, batambulanga bwe bakubidde mu basement naye mbo bali mu Kadaali. Mbo bali mu Kadaali twali bavubuka twasubwa Kadaali ow'ekinana n'awasowe 75 ne bawenyera nga bagenda ku kituuti. Ebintu bimwe n'okubikkiriza nti byakulekawo. Ekirungi olina abaana, Museveni asibye abaana Kadaali, ekyo kyali mu malidde. naye omusajja oyo talina kyayagala kusuba, buli kyeyasuba mu butayagala Uganda ekimu, n'embaga gy'ataasobola kwekolera ayagala Uganda egimukolera ddemu awasi mukyala we w'ensanvu kati eyo emmundu gye bali mu State House kulya mmere kudigida ng'abantu bongera kubeera mu bwavu. Kyova olaba olutalo lwe yalwana lwali lumu naye yanoonyayo ennaku 3 z'ajaganya. Lwe yalutandika February nga 6, lwe omuntu eyasooka okufa mu June nga 9 nga wali eruweero mmere yawamba obuyinza. So ennaku 3 tujjukira kimu Museveni nti yali luweero ng'alwana. Buli lunaku kati kuno omwaka mu budget baataddemu biliyoni 5 nti ezo bwe banaalaba abantu emidaali babaweereko ne ssente.
That is SSEMUJJU NGANDA. And SSEMUJJU NGANDA is right. The opulence that is in State House. State House budget is bigger than that of Mulago. State House has almost 1,200 workers. Yet Mulago works in a deficit of workers. General Museveni uses almost 3 billion daily. Ladies and gentlemen, a billion has 1,000 millions. If they give you a billion, you can be able to feed on it for almost 30 years. When each day you are spending 100,000, that is how much big the budget is. He lives in opulence. Is akin to those kings in Saudi Arabia who live on oil money. And he comes out to say that is doing operation recreation, MUOGA, etc., where a person is given 1 million. What would 1 million do? It is they are doing politics with that money. Okay? So you cannot tell me the day we shall cut off the powers of the presidency, that day we shall redeem our country. And the time is now. General Museveni has had a chance to rule over us for 40 years. But for me, I feel pain that after the 40 years rule of General Museveni, we are going to lose on all fronts. One, we are going to lose on the front of development because Uganda is not developed. And we are going to lose on the front of democracy. Because the core issue as to why this government went to power, it was because of electoral democracy and human rights. It is even performing worse. Now they want to engineer a succession, not a transition, where son is where they want to make his son be president. Who can allow that nonsense? And if Ugandans don't come out to know these issues and fight for their country constitutionally, in a most unlikely event General Museveni comes into power, it is the day we shall grieve as a country, because he lacks the vision, he lacks the know-who of where Uganda is supposed to be. So SSEMUJJU NGANDA is right. These people live in opulence, and at the end of the day they come out to pose as if they care for our country. They have never cared for our country, based on what they give out in the budget. They increase our budget to 71 million. In economics, it's just fattening to see as if they are working. We are proceeding in the right direction, so that they can see as if they are reducing the budget to the GDP ratio. Okay, but we understand what they are doing. So SSEMUJJU NGANDA came out to point out the key issues, which I think is right, because General Museveni is in his last days. That's why he's enjoying, his last days as the president, because inshallah 2026 NRM regime will be brought to an end. You can keep this video for future reference. Of course, that's my opinion. Do because by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is the first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. Let me also take this opportunity to tell you that I'll be running as a member of parliament for Makinde East constituency come 2026. I'm here to ask for your support and vote. Makinde East deserves better. It deserves doers. It deserves fighters, not jokers. It deserves people who have brains, not those who have water. Because for the past 20 years, Makinde East has not been represented well in the floor of parliament, as very many members of parliament are seen negotiating on the floor of parliament, echoing the sounds of their constituency. The leadership of Makinde East is normally sleeping because it is weak. It doesn't know what to do on the floor of parliament. It requires a member of parliament like yours truly, who knows how to dissect these issues. I'll see you on another one. Peace.
abatimuze mpalana bulungi ava mpalana bulungi nange benjagala obulungi